Pod.
Hoorah!
All right.
Pod.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the
143rd
episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You may know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, a bunch of nonsense. With me, as always, is my friend, co-host, and you guessed it, another pre-recorded summer pod buddy, Frederick.
Goddamn. It's good to be back.
The buddy intros are getting a little convoluted. If you're not familiar with the show, it may be very confusing what I just said. But this is
this is someone's first episode. They're like, what does this buddy do?
He pre-records summer pods. It's kind of dope, actually.
Goddamn. Honestly, I respect the shit out of that.
So we are doing another, because we're both busy bees over the summer. So we are recording some bonus pods to put up in the weeks that we can't record, so there'll be no news or mini reviews, and probably, I hate to say it, probably no announcements and such this week, but those of course will be back as soon as we're able to record an up-to-date one. In the meantime, we're going to be having a wonderful time today, and this is actually a sequel to a pod we did many a pod ago. It is in fact a sequel to episode 19 of the Poorly Planned Podcast, Best and Worst Superhero Movie Costumes.
God damn, I love it.
I hate to put such an epic emphasis on it, because as soon as I said the title of the video, it really lost any gravitas. But I thought it would be a good time now that that was March 2018. So now that over 4 years have passed and a lot of new superhero movie content has come out, I thought it'd be time to do a part 2, where we talk about some newer superhero movie costumes and such, some bests, some worsts, some mids from the past little while.
Are we talking mids as well? It's going to be a great episode if mids are included.
You have no idea how many mids I got on this list. Also, I will say,
I'm happy you've got a list, because I can think of maybe 3 that pops to mind right now.
No, I got a list. Don't worry. I'm a profesh. Right. And I will say... Good. Yeah, the first episode of this series, so if you want, we're going to skip over basically all of the main ones from before 2018, because those are talked about in the first episode. And I will say that first episode is probably my favorite episode we've done, or at least it's the one when someone asks me, what's your favorite episode of the pod you've done? That's the one that I just kind of is my default, because it's a fun time. It's a good time.
It's a fun time. I remember it slightly, but I mean, it's just so long ago.
Yeah,
it's a proper callback, this one.
But that's why I also like it, because a lot of our early stuff, and let's be real, a lot of our current stuff, could be seen as #cringe. Even that episode, I feel still kind of stands up a bit. I still listen back to some moments, and I still have a good chuckle.
I see.
So this will definitely not live up to that expectation, but...
becomes thoroughly cringe as you explain how cringe we are. This one is #cringe.
This one's a little mid, some could say.
This one hasn't aged that well. It would be a bit of a stanky mid one.
And before we jump into it, I have a quick little random anecdote, which, we tend to just throw in here at the start.
BHL anecdote? Let's go.
It's BHL anecdote hour. Unlike BHL movie hour, which crashed and burned.
Which got about 2 episodes.
We don't talk about that here. First of all, actually, it's just one. It's 2 stories relating that happened within 30 seconds of one another, relating to Papa Hudson, my father.
Papa Hudson.
Papa Hudson, the plant in the corner of my room. So
God, how strange would that be? Your dad comes in. What's that over in the corner? That's Papa Hudson.
So named for you, father.
Same brain capacity.
Just a roast begins. So basically, there was just a horrible moment where we were at the dinner table. That's it. No, where we were talking about,
and he just showed up.
We were like, mid, where we were talking about movies, and there was just a terrible moment of horrific confusion where we were talking about Mark Wahlberg, as you do, and
as one does, yes.
He was like, wasn't he in that movie recently with the dog? I was like, Papa Hudson, how could you? And I was also more confused.
How could you do potato him like that?
He'd also even heard of the movie Dog.
That's impressive, in fairness. The fact that Papa Hudson knows of the phenomenon that is dog.
And then also just a very random moment that happened moments later. for some reason, don't ask how the conversation went from Mark Wahlberg to this, but he wanted to show us the video. Do you know the video of the like CIA or whatever after they, I think, captured Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden or something, and it's the guy who goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, we got him." Are you familiar with this video? And so he wanted to show us that video, inexplicably, for the conversation we were having, and he found the meme version with that song, you know, and it's like the SWAT footage, and like the song started playing, and I was trying to tell him like, no, this isn't the version you're thinking of. This is a meme version. And he was just kind of like blank faced looking at me like, what? And then like the SWAT team.
What is a meme?
And it's like bass boosted. He's just the look of sheer bewilderment on his face. He was just like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. I was like, yeah, I was trying to tell you about it. So
God.
Anyway, just a deeply chaotic family dinner.
That sounds troubling and chaotic, and I'm impressed that you made that alive.
But anyway, time to jump into superhero movie costumes part 2. There are Timecodes down below.
Anyways, let's not talk about these mid things anymore. Let's get real.
Anyway,
let's get political.
I have a list of, I didn't put these in category of best or worst or mid. I just kind of have a list of a bunch of costumes that I could think of from recent memory. I just thought we'd go through it and see what we think, you know.
Talk about it. Yeah. I just want to make clear that I didn't know the reason I come so unprepared to most things. I didn't know we were doing this until we started recording.
Yes, that's part of the charm of the pod. You know, I'll occasionally tell you if we like want to do something for it, but generally speaking, I will absolutely just spring it on you randomly.
I like it though.
So the first one, I'm actually gonna say, okay, how about we categorize the? How about we give a ranking of either big. Okay, yeah, that'll be a good ranking.
Yeah, so this costume is big. Moving on.
Mid, or trash.
Or stanky.
Stanky. There we go. So I'm gonna say first one, very recent, but I'm gonna say big. Moon Knight.
Ooh. I will have to
ones.
agree. It's a big one.
I think it is a big. It just
so bad.
Yeah. Okay, let's do something else. We have stanky, we have mid, we have W. How about that?
Yeah, for some reason, some people think we're cringe on this podcast.
Yeah, for some reason people.
But anyways, Moon Knight's costume is what I call a fat W.
Some people don't believe me when I say I'm 20 years old. I don't know why. It's absurd.
don't know why.
But anyway, Moon Knight is a big W because I think it's very comic accurate. It's also just kind of aesthetically pleasing to look at.
When I look at it, it's like an ASMR video times 10.
No, I watched a little bit of there's like a behind the scenes documentary thing they did on Disney Plus about it, and like they were talking about how they like, because it kind of has like bandages to it, because it's, you know, that Egyptian sort of vibe, like mummy sort of
kind of like mummy vibe. Yeah.
But then it also has like the hood and the cowl, and they have like these like little symbols. There's a lot of good detail. I like his like moon weaponry that he has in the chest.
The moon weaponry is quite cool as he pulls them out, become like weird, like karambit / boomerang things.
Yeah,
very cool. I will say this suit pales in comparison to the Stephen Grant suit.
Well, I was about to say the Mr. Knight is also kind of very great. I love it because it's also what this like dorky British guy thinks of as like a superhero costume. Like, yeah, it's a very fun twist on it. I have to say a big thing with these costumes are the eyes. Like the like sometimes when they do just like whited out eyes, it looks kind of weird. It's hard to convey emotion. I think this costume does a pretty good job of it. He isn't actually in it that much.
Yeah, it does.
The show.
No, he's not in it that much. But when he is, it's almost like, obviously not the biggest color contrast like in Deadpool, but it is similar to Deadpool with the emotion that's conveyed in the eyes, I think.
Yeah, I like it a lot. And last thing I'll say, I know this is a strange point to make, but I really like how the texture of it looks. Do you not just want to like poke it? You know what I mean?
I want to just like run my hands over it and then just get freaky with it.
Yeah, I want to just slide my fingers across it and then look Oscar Isaac deep in his whited out eyes.
As I unzip his back zipper and get him out of the suit.
I don't think this suit has a back zipper, but I don't know actually. Right in, Oscar Isaac.
Now that you say it, I want to try.
Then onto one that is what I hate to say it, and I hate to be negative about a man we love, the Ruffalo, but a big stank on the newer Hulk design, which I guess isn't the costume, but I feel like we could still talk about it.
When you're talking the new Hulk design, do you mean when he's like half rough, half
I am
half
talking
tough?
Endgame, half rough, half tough, glasses wearing Professor Hulk, I believe he's known as.
Is he known as Professor Hulk? Well, I will say I 100% agree with you.
It's not.
It is. We love the rough, but it's just.
But we don't want to see more of his face.
What I like about him is that he's unrecognizable.
It's that he's constantly covered in visual effects. It's his best role.
No, I will say that part of the Hulk's like charm is that he's a normal professor doctor who's very smart, and then he freaking hulks out and it's just like a beast.
Yeah.
Here, it almost makes him like, first of all, it looks quite bad, but it also just takes a lot of the like charm and appeal away from the Hulk. I think, where it's just like, oh, now he's super strong, but he's not actually hulking. He's just being rough.
Yeah, it does, like, it removes, like you said, yeah, like, character-wise, it takes some stuff away, and then it also, like, the CGI, just weirdly, I think it's also that Uncanny Valley thing, which I feel like we might maybe do an episode on sometime, where it's like, do you know what the Uncanny Valley is?
I don't. Explain to me, VHL.
Ooh, well, let me just get my Professor BHL hat on. It's basically where
Collapses.
runs away out of sheer panic.
Goes Waters, Papa Hudson.
That's such a weird thing to say. I didn't like that at all. The closer you get with like a visual kind of effect or something to it looking like a human without it being exactly human, the weirder it is to the brain. So for example, like R2-D2 looks nothing like a human, that's like great, whatever, that you don't really think about it. But then, when they de-age someone, like when they de-aged Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian, and like there's just something weird about it, or Polar Express kind of thing.
Or Cavill Stash.
Cavill Stash, indeed, yeah. And there's just something, the closer it gets to being right without being perfect, it's like more and more upsetting. And so I feel like Hulk isn't like super on that, but there's a little bit of that where it's like, it just looks, when he's like this feral creature, he has like humanoid features or whatever, but he's like so kind of wild and removed in his personality as well that it's a little bit easier to. But then when he's sitting there in his like hipster glasses and he's explaining like,
yeah, when he's sitting in his hipster glasses and he's got a completely like normal demeanor,
yeah,
it's a little strange.
It is a little weird, and I hate to jump on this bandwagon because I have seen a lot of, some could argue, slightly cringe videos or shorts where it's like some like really lame music over like the new Hulk, and then there's like some really badass music over like the Incredible Hulk, and I'm not a fan of those videos because who should be supporting the Incredible Hulk? But
however, they're not stanky.
But the new look is a little stonkaroony. If
I have to admit that the stankerizzle is there on the new look.
Yeah, let's see. Let's do a non-Marvel one actually, because I have a bunch of Marvel ones lined up here. I would say one of the best lately, a little bit of Peacemaker. What a joke.
Ooh. What a joke. I will say, when I first saw the Peacemaker one in the Suicide Squad movie, or Suicide Squad, whichever one it is, I was like, okay, leaning more towards mid than Big W. Right. But after watching the Peacemaker series and how much they actually like ridicule him for it and how he just owns it, it grows on you.
It's weirdly,
I do like it.
In how much irony they layered it and how much they make fun of it, it weirdly becomes unironically kind of a really badass costume.
It does. Like the amount of times they grill it and say, "What are you wearing? What is that?" It's not exactly camouflage. It suddenly becomes the biggest dub.
Yeah, and then Cena, he just rocks it. He rocks the shit out of that toilet bowl on his head, and it's like, it's also really well done because
poor choice of words.
Sorry. He absolutely gobbles that shit out that toilet bowl. But
Cena absolutely just devours the feces in his toilet bowl hat.
But yeah, it's
the real nom nom came from Cena and not King Shark.
It's like, it started out as that very James Gunn you know, in Guardians of the Galaxy, they sort of, you know, are very self-aware and they make fun of how ridiculous some stuff is. And the Suicide Squad is a lot like that as well with his costume at the start. He's kind of like, I'd never heard of him. He might be like more well-known to comic fans, but he was sort of, I think he was picked because he was like such a ridiculous looking character and kind of such a ridiculous premise for a character that it would be fun for that sort of ridiculous movie. And it works really well in that. And then it just, it grows on you. And it just, by the end of Peacemaker, what a joke. You're like, that's a badass costume. When he's kind of bloodied up. Costume.
And I just fucking love that show.
It's a fantastic show. Honestly, one of my favorite superhero shows ever.
Yeah, same.
Be up there with the Coxathan. I think on the note of Peacemaker, what a joke. Should we talk about, in general, the new Suicide Squad, or as I have written here in my note, the Newicide Squad?
Ooh, that is exceedingly clever. The Newicide Squad.
Thank you.
I like it.
That is what they should title the next film, if I have any input.
So you saw the Suicide Squad. Not getting ready for the Newicide Squad.
And then
what about if they make a fourth one then?
Ooh,
if they make a Cena movie, the Pooicide Squad.
We've done it. We've somehow done it. Anyway,
I'd say done it is exceedingly generous, but go on.
Yeah, we've done something. I don't know if it is a good thing.
I don't know, good or bad, political or politically incorrect. I don't know.
But what do you think? So I think Cena's the one that stands out. Like, I like Idris's suit because of how it works in the action scenes, and it's pretty cool. But it doesn't look like anything that crazy.
It's a little bit like just generic looking. It's like, oh, he's got all black and there's a bunch of gadgets. It works well in the action scenes, but yeah, not like when I think of cool superhero costumes. I don't think.
No.
Oh yeah, Idris.
I mean, King Shark is not really. He's designed, but
his costume is just
kind of
his costume is just shorts, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess we already talked about Harley.
So that's a big W.
Yes, that's actually
the fact that he's got so much confidence in his own body.
Just rocking those jorts, man. Are you a fan of jorts? What's your standpoint on
what
jorts?
Are jorts?
Jean shorts.
Oh, jean shorts, jorts. They're okay, I guess.
I tried to wear a pair once, and I have to be honest, I did not rock it. So I've not gone back.
I think I've got a pair of ripped jorts, so
Ooh, not crazy about ripped jeans. This is turning very quickly into like the poorly planned fashion hour, and I love it. I hate ripped jeans.
I'm not on guys. I'm not a big fan of ripped jeans, but ripped jorts weirdly work on me at least. is what my psychiatrist tells me.
The Newicide Squad, it's good stuff, but I would say the most standout costume would be Rick Flagg's yellow T-shirt.
Ooh, I do like it.
It's a badass look for him.
What a joke.
Peacemaker.
Imagine how disturbing that would be. You get stabbed in the heart. Peacemaker.
He just like a slight
slow
smile.
Orgasm.
A slight smile curls, and then he just collapses. He falls asleep.
Collapses. He's not hurt at all. Peacemaker.
Cena just keeps that bewildered look.
Cena has flashbacks. What did Rick Flag mean? As he fell asleep in a dazed pleasure.
Then let's see. All right, I think we can say a big W. I would say personally, Wanda Maximoff as Scarlet Witch.
I like the emphasis you put on it there to avoid any confusion from past episodes.
To not remind people of our former indiscretions. Did you see the video? Maybe you sent me the video of her talking about being called mommy. Did you see that?
I believe you sent me the video in which she is addressed as mommy.
Trying not to incriminate myself even more.
I saw this one video. I think you sent it to me. I definitely did not send it to you.
I definitely didn't search it out in any sense of the word. But
Wanda mommy. Wanda Maximoff? Sorry.
Yeah, all right. Wanda Maximoff. She was saying that she finds it like weirdly as a compliment, maybe, when people call her like mom. Anyway, let's not look too deeply into that.
How old is she, by the way?
38, I'd guess.
38.
This is not an
I'm calling
appropriate.
36, but
Elizabeth Olsen age. We shouldn't be passing off guesses on a woman's age. 33. Oh goodness, no. I meant that's what I meant
hot
to
new
say.
take from VHL Hudson. Elizabeth Olsen looks 60.
No. I was like, because they always look younger than they are, you know. So it's a compliment if you think about it.
But here
anyway.
she looks older than she is.
Fuck. Wait, no, that's not what I. Anyway, yeah.
Move on.
That is recover. Anyway, great actress, by the way. We're not objectifying anything.
Becomes the biggest brown noser.
It's just like, because we have this ongoing bit now that I feel like it needs to be addressed, that we're not just saying that we like her because, you know,
because she is
and whatever.
Maximoff.
Anyway, the new Scarlet Witch costume that she gets at the end of WandaVision and Doctor Strange, I think is a very excellent costume and better than any other previous costume that she had in the MCU, especially at the end of Age of Ultron, where that one looked, I hate to say it, kind of mid.
I hate to be that guy, but that shit stank. I do like it. I know it's a lot more comic accurate. Again, I think it's definitely better than what she had in the Age of Ultron, like, ending scenes and stuff like that. But there's something, like, I wouldn't say it's mid, definitely not. But I wouldn't say it's a big W. I'd put it between the two, because to me, even though it's obviously comic book accurate and it fits with the character and everything, but like it does seem just slightly forced, in my opinion, in the movie. I don't know why, but that's just how I feel.
I think I can see, especially, and I think it might just be because that scene is kind of ass, but in the scene where she's confronting Doctor Strange at Camartage, like, it does look a little off there, but I just feel like everything about that moment looks a little off. Like, I think that might have been a reshoot, because it's like the green screen looks a little weird. We did not
fortify our minds enough for that scene.
But, yeah, I just think there's a comic accuracy, and then I just think it's well translated into the MCU, because there's a way where you can do it where you're, like, just fully comic accurate, and it can end up looking a little goofy, and then it's like, you're so afraid to be comic accurate that it's nothing, and I think it's in that good middle ground where it's like, and also,
I just think,
sorry, go ahead.
I just think that it is a little bit like they kind of, you know, like she gets the horned helmet or whatever the hell it is. It is a little bit on the nose where it's like, oh yeah, she was completely dressed normal before, and then now boom, she got a horned helmet and she's bad, you know? Like,
yeah, I get that. I do. One thing I do like about the horned kind of helmet thing is that it also, like, a little crown, like, and that sort of fits in Doctor Strange too. She's like, I was born to rule or whatever, and it's sort of, I don't know. I think it's a. We'll call
and you
it
sit
a
there and you
medium
say,
W.
"Mommy, you're my queen."
I should never have brought that up. You sent me that video. No, it was Lele, actually. I don't want to throw him under the bus. Not that it was a weird thing to send. It was a meme.
Incriminating Lele. No, it's Lele who's got a weird fetish for Wanda.
Anyway, moving swiftly onward. Speaking of the Marvel Disney Plus shows, how are we feeling about Anthony Mackie, Captain America, Falcon, Suit-a-Rooney?
I think it looks good on him. I think it's like I mean, obviously, given the whole story about him being Falcon, and then, like, I think it's a good blend of the Falcon and Captain America, like, blending into one. I think, honestly, it works. I'll give it again, not a full W, but between mid and W.
I'd say the same, yeah. I think he suits it quite well, and it's a cool, like, combination of his two things, and I like that it's, I think it has more, like, I can't think of the exact differences, but also it looks distinctly different enough for it to, like, be kind of his own thing and a new thing, but it's also similar enough where you get the inspiration.
But yeah, it also, like, kind of plays into both of the roles, you could say.
In that show, though, and this is before he gets that suit, not crazy about the Falcon goggles. Remember the like, close-ups that they did of Anthony Mackie's
The Falcon
face?
goggles was very strange. Have you seen... I don't know if I've sent it to you, but there's this guy who does, I don't know if it's TikTok or Instagram, whatever the fuck, but, like, he basically puts a GoPro in his mouth.
Yes, I was thinking, have you seen the one where it's like 360 camera and then it's like, it's just his face, like, in the exact...
it's like POV, I go for a jog, and it's like...
Yes, I have seen
It reminded me of that slightly.
It does look a little bit like that. You know, there was a whole thing about, not a whole thing, but there was this tweet that kind of went around about Obi-Wan where someone was like, why does he have goggles on? It kind of seemed like a ridiculous like complaint, like you're just complaining for the sake of complaining. With Falcon, I feel like the way that shot was filmed is worth complaining about because that was the goofiest shit.
I think we should complain.
No, yeah, but overall, a dub for the Mackie. Mackie could pull off pretty much any suit, if we're being honest. I got a big stinker on my mind. X-Men costumes in Dark Phoenix.
I have not seen Dark Phoenix, so X-Men?
The X-Men costumes have always been like they didn't do it. It was like black leather, and then they kind of hinted at it and did it a little bit in First Class. I think that was pretty good. And then in Dark Phoenix, they tried to be more comic accurate, which I'd give them credit for, but also...
this is terrible.
It's not good.
This is stanky.
It's a little stanky. Yeah, it looks very kind of like cheap. Like it doesn't look like a costume, you know what I mean? It kind of looks like a shirt that someone put on.
It's either an insane asylum clothing or they're on a field trip and they all wear the same color because they don't want to.
Yes, it does look like when we had to go to like London and wear like green caps.
And we all wore like green caps, yeah. Now they're just wearing a big yellow X because they're not subtle.
And yeah, Professor X just has to like kind of keep track of them. Yeah, it's just...
I do like in this poster I'm looking at right now, everyone's wearing it except for Magneto, who's rocking like a long trench coat. That I respect.
That is kind of badass. Yeah, look, at the end of what was it? I think at the end of that same movie, yeah, at the end of Apocalypse. No, yeah, at the end of the previous movie in Apocalypse, they have these costumes that are actually pretty cool, and like they have a little variety to them. Do you remember that last scene when they're like about to fight the Sentinels or whatever? And then they ditch them for like it just looks kind of very last minute and not very like cinematic. It looks very like a TV costume, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks cheap.
Yeah, so not a huge dub on that, except for Professor X's turtleneck and corduroy pants, which I think is a very charming
which
combo
I think
on Charles
are
Xavier.
very, very beautiful.
I'm a big fan. Back to fashion talk, corduroy, hard to pull off. He definitely does. Actually, corduroy is not hard to pull off at all.
Do you think that Professor X could pull off jorts, though?
Which version are we talking?
And can you think of anything more disturbing than seeing him roll up in jorts?
I like to think he still has the same suit top, but he just has jorts on. Are we talking Patrick Stewart or James McAvoy? Because the answer will vary.
Both.
Well, okay, Patrick Stewart definitely, because he got them old man calves. I don't feel good about saying that, but I also think James McAvoy would look good in a pair of jorts. Quote me.
The answer will vary as I give the exact same answer.
Yeah, I couldn't be bothered. I was gonna try to make it seem like James McAvoy wouldn't look good in them, but I was like, but he would.
That's a fat old lie.
But I can't. I have to tell the truth. How are we feeling about the costume? I was about to say the costume that Hawkeye gets, but the costume that Hawkeye gets.
What did you just say? Did you just call him Cockeye?
The costume that Hawkeye gets at the end of his Disney Plus show. How are we feeling about that one?
Cockeye.
A very different show that would be. What if Hawkeye could only shoot people in the junk? Also, I did see an exceptional...
with his penis.
I did see a great video that was just called like Hawkeye, but he always misses, and it's just him like looking really cool and saying a one-liner and shooting, and then just like they've edited the arrow to go like the other direction. Yeah, how are we feeling about the Renner costume?
It's in the latest one or the first one. What are we talking here?
No, because the first one he's basically just wearing what like a vest or like
wearing like a tank top.
Yeah, but in the latest one, did you watch Hawkeye? You didn't.
I watched the first few episodes of it.
Oh, well, there's a running kind of meme throughout where it's like, you need a costume, and he's like, I don't want a costume, I'm a grumpy old man the whole time, or whatever, and then they get a costume at the end, surprise. And it's this, like, purple... Surely you've seen it. It's like this purple Hawkeye kind of thing. Costume. It's not bad, it's not great, it's just kind of...
Is it comic book accurate?
More so than before, because it has, like, the colors, I guess. But I think it would fall very firmly into the mid-category.
Oh, is this the costume that she also gets? They kind of get like matching costumes.
Yes, they do. Yes, they're actually made by LARPers. What
are LARPers?
It's like LARP, you know, it's a thing.
Live action role play, right?
Yeah, I know you're a big fan. You definitely did LARPing when you were younger. Tell me I'm lying.
I genuinely did go out in the forest with some Barda people.
Yep, that's what I thought. With some what people?
What do you say?
With some what people?
Have you seen Barda?
Oh, maybe it sounds familiar.
It's like basically it's a Danish show where they kind of like do some like it's like a show where some kids get some like weapons and stuff, and then they're sent out into the forest with a quest, and it's like kind of it kind of like toes the lines between reality and like an actual show.
Kind of epic.
I mean, it is kind of epic, but basically like the kids, they meet each other like for the first time, and like they're given like a proper like reality show like introduction, and then they're sent out, and it's filmed as if it's a show, but they don't actually know what's going on. I don't think it's a cool like combination.
Huh. So were you on a TV show?
No, I was not. But I was. They had like a huge like, I guess you could say fair in the forest where like thousands of people who like were fans of it came in like their role playing costumes and stuff like that.
Anyway, yeah, big mid on that one.
Yeah, it's mid.
Let's see. Do we want to talk Patman?
Ooh, I think we can talk a bit of Patman.
Patman.
I say big W, personally.
I think, yeah, initially when I saw it, I was like, I don't know about this, because he has, like, the Batman symbols, like, made of gun pieces, and it seemed a bit, like, I don't know, it seemed a bit like trying to be too, like, edgy, maybe? I don't know, but...
Too emo?
In the actual film, I think it works very well, and it fits that kind of little bit over-dramatic tone of the film. And also, I mean, in the first episode, all those years ago, we did talk a lot about Batman costumes and particularly their mobility for some fucking reason.
We did talk about the mobility.
And mobility, big win here. Very mobile. Very kind of slim and sleek.
Thoroughly flexible.
Can
and
do
also
lots of stuff.
But God, the things he can do, impressive.
The things Alfred would have seen.
The sky's the limit with that flexibility. But also, I mean, I guess this is not really the look of it, but also the fact that it's actually like a useful costume. Yeah. I think like Bale's costume, kind of useless. Like he just gets shot once in the freaking stomach and that's it. He's dead. Whereas like the Batman's one actually is bulletproof and like he can use what is it? Like he uses it as like a flying squirrel kind of suit.
He does become a flying squirrel, yes. Although that doesn't work very well as he swiftly crashes into like a garbage truck, if you remember. But
that's true.
But I see what it has a lot of practicality to it. It also I like, and I guess they both fit their individual worlds because the Affleck one was sort of for that Snyder like over the top sort of kind of comic booky, kind of ridiculous. But I like that this one's also a little more kind of like slim and like feels a bit more subtle, I guess.
Affleck's not great mobility.
No, well, he's also just this like hulking like monster, and this one he's more. I guess it's not subtle, but it's more. Yeah, it fits the world pretty well. You know, you can believe him kind of sneaking around the shadows and such. It does seem. Is it just me, or does it seem like it would be kind of clanky, like the way it's kind of designed?
Clanky how? Like it'd be noisy.
Doesn't it look like it has kind of like? I'm not saying
a few screws loose.
Well, like no, it's not made of like shingles, but you know what I mean. It's kind of made of like little pieces. You know what I mean? You're just like Batman sneaking in the shadows, just the loudest fucking like shingles rubbing against each other.
Just 10 key changes.
I don't know. I
wonder who that is. He sneaks in as if he's not been heard. Everyone's just ready with their guns and they shoot him.
Speaking of Batman things, what do we think of Arthur Fleck's Joker, aka Joaquin Phoenix?
Ooh.
How we feeling about it? I'm feeling good.
I mean, how are you feeling? Because I feel fucking fantastic.
I think it's a great one for its world.
I don't know. I think it's, again, it toes the line between being mid and a W for me because, again, I think it fits the world and the story. But in terms of Joker costumes, I would not say it's the best by far.
No, but I think it... Yeah, no, you're right. I guess I don't think it's like worse or better than the others. I think pretty much every Joker look has been pretty great and they all kind of work for the thing they're in. And I just think it isn't like worse or like less iconic than some of the other looks, which like you... I don't know, it's a very recognizable look now and... I think it just works really well for that world, and I think it's a I think it's a good
Yeah.
addition to the Joker kind of lineup.
I mean, when I say
costumes.
costume, I was mainly thinking about his like the makeup on his face. I didn't actually think about his like the clothes he's wearing. Because what clothes does he wear? Is it like the purple thing, or is it like a?
It's like a red and yellow kind of vibe. And he also it's like red and yellow, and he has this kind of like. Yeah, his like Joker look is distinct enough, and kind of it's sort of like this old timey clown instead of like the new ones, like with the sort of like he kind of a little bit vibes of the Tivoli clown. What's he called?
Pierrot?
Yeah, that fucking insanely creepy clown. That
He
like
is
the
a
mascot.
very creepy clown.
They have a statue of that fucking character, and it's like the scariest thing. But anyway. Yeah, I think it's a
Moving past my nightmares.
it's a good one. I also do want to mention I thought it was hilarious when do you remember when the marketing was first starting for that movie and the first look of the Joker was literally just a picture of Joaquin Phoenix? Like he had no makeup on.
I do remember.
Just him. It was like
Yo, first look of the new Joker. He looks terrifying. It's just Joaquin.
he looks
They've really CGI'd him good here.
he looks horrifyingly decrepit. Oh my god. They actually went too far. There were petitions to change
my
it to make it
God.
less scary. That's how we ended up with the look we got. Let's see. Okay, I have a bunch here. I don't have too many like crazy ones. I do have one crazy one actually. Huge dub on this one. Big W.
Okay.
Phil Coulson.
Speaking of mass amounts of CGI, goddamn, how did they do it?
I mean, I guess he was.
How did they make someone look so goddamn good?
He was mass amounts of CGI in Captain Marvel when they de-aged him, which I saw a clip of that the other day, and I was like, God damn, that did not look good. Like, Samuel L. Jackson looked really good, and Phil Coulson looked kind of nightmarish.
Kind of below mid, I'd say.
Below mid, but yeah. Anyway, okay, Phil Coulson, huge W, obviously.
Huge W, obviously.
Shazam and Black Adam. We haven't really seen Black Adam yet. We've seen the trailer. So far looking good, but we can't really speak on that. But Shazam...
Shazam, I like.
I think very good for what that movie was, because when the set photos first came out, people were really hating on it. They were like, this looks so goofy and like puffy and whatever. And the whole that whole movie is extremely goofy and like child, like, yeah, I think it fits that really well. I think Zachary Levi pulls it off.
Yeah, again, like, I think, and this is the case with a lot of these, where it's like, the costume can be, like, normally really bad, but then it fits in the world, and then it makes it good. But yeah, I think Zachary, he pulls it off.
Yeah. I got one more kind of main one, and then I'm going to just speed round a bunch that we're just going to go, I'm just ask for a mid, W, or a stanky afterwards.
I got you.
Okay, but first,
Sounds perfect.
last one that I kind of got a bit to say about. The Boys. A little bit of left field. I think very good.
I think so as well.
And mainly because, like, as costumes individually, they're, solid, but they're not, like, the most, exceptional or original. But it's also all kind of by design to be, like a parody of known superhero things. And then also the way that show plays into, like, it's a marketing thing, and it's like everything is behind the superhero stuff. So, like, the costumes, like, I think at the start, Stargirl, her costume was like a whole issue that they were having because they wanted to make it like more like sexualized or something. And like they play, and in the latest episode in the new season, there's a whole thing. A-Train is talking about his costume, and this sort of like points to the looks that are also just good in the show as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say, I think a part of the thing that I really like about the Boys' costumes is that I'm not quite sure what it is, but they just seem much more realistic. Like, cause you'll have some superhero costumes like, let's see, I don't know, where I can't think of one specifically right now, but like, where it's like skin tight, it just doesn't look that, like it almost looks, and sometimes it is CGI'd, right? Where it's like even like Homelander's costume, it looks. If you put that in like a Marvel movie, I'd say it maybe looked a bit cheap, but in the Boys, it really works. It looks like proper fabric, and it's just like something that would be actually worn in a more realistic superhero world. And I think it works.
Yeah, I think they walk that line perfectly because the show takes place in this hybrid world where it's like between a superhero world and our world, where like they have superhero shows and marketing and all that stuff, but they also have actual superheroes that it's based on, and it looks, like you're saying, it looks perfect for that. Like, you could believe that would be a real thing. And of course, the best costume in that show is worn by Mother's Milk. Moving on.
It is.
You really believe that could be realistically
It is
done?
worn by the Mother's Milk.
Frenchie's costume.
I really want to
realistic.
watch the new season of The Boys.
It's so. I've seen the first 2 episodes. By the way, we're recording this on June 6th. I've seen the first 2 episodes, and it is so good. We'll talk about
Is the entire season out, or
No, they put the first 3 episodes out for the release, and then they're doing week by week.
Peacemaker style?
Yeah, there is. We'll talk about it when we talk about it, or when we have talked about it. Ooh, time travel.
Ooh.
But there is one moment in the first episode that is so fucking gross that I can't. The Boys has done some gross shit, but that was a little too far. Even I was like,
I see.
I didn't need that. You'll know exactly what it is when you see it.
Was out of order.
But anyway, it's fantastic. Okay, speed round time. I'm gonna need a W, mid, or stinky from you because we break this down in great nuance like good podcasters.
Good.
Okay.
Of course.
Bruce Willis in Glass.
Stank.
Okay. It is just a trench coat. Black suit Superman.
Mid to good. Or to dub.
Oh, okay, I'll allow that. Doctor Strange in the Thor Ragnarok post-credit scene where he has the big yellow gloves.
Big yellow gloves.
Or in the Doctor Strange post-credit scene, whatever it is. Remember, he has those big yellow gloves that look like they're for cleaning dishes, and then he never wears them again.
Ah, I see. Mid.
Okay. Iron Man in the latest Avengers movies where he has the nanotech stuff.
Mid.
New Thor, where he is I guess Endgame Thor would be
where he's got the almost 6 cat nipples on his chest.
I guess, yeah. I was actually kind of thinking in Thor Ragnarok he has that kind of super colorful costume. We can say Endgame Thor.
Okay. Dub.
Okay. Mysterio, both in costume and then also when he's wearing basically a green screen catsuit.
Quickly look it up to refresh my memory here.
It's Jake Gyllenhaal. He's got a fishbowl on his head.
Mysterio costume. I just want to, because when I remember, I liked it a lot. I go big dub.
Ooh, all right. Captain Marvel.
What do you think of the Gyllenhaal?
I think it's a pretty big dub. Also because some of the slight ridiculousness and sometimes the CGI doesn't look amazing on it in the movie can actually be played off because it is literal CGI.
It is
in the movie,
literal CGI.
So pretty good stuff.
So they found a nice little loophole there.
Yeah. Captain Marvel.
Mid.
I'm gonna say a light W. I think it's just as the costume goes. I think it's pretty good. All of the Eternals all at once.
All at once, ooh, but it varies because Gilgamesh, goddamn, big dub. But then you'll find someone like freaking, what's he called? Icarus. I think Icarus is kind of stanky.
I think they're all pretty mid, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think if you average it out, it's thoroughly mid.
The new Green Goblin look for No Way Home, where he's kind of hooded and kind of a creepy old man with goggles.
Big W.
Ooh, okay.
I like it.
I would say a light W, but a big W. All right.
Actually, no, big W is generous. We'll say W.
Okay, nice. I'm glad we're adding more nuance to the scale. Morbius.
Is there a point past W?
Is there an ascension to heaven that can be allowed for
Morbius? Is Morbius' costume not just
Jared Leto's outfit?
Is it not just wearing a long black robe?
It is, yeah. No, there's no costume. I just threw it in because Morbius.
Well,
dub.
For that, big dub.
The Winter Soldier. Well, we kind of talked about that last time, I think, but thoroughly mid. But I guess he's meant to be kind of mid costumed.
Yeah.
Carnage.
Carnage, as in what Woody Harrelson wears.
No, that's in the design of the Carnage monster, whatever the fuck.
I see. Is that a costume though? Because I feel like I would.
Well, the Hulk isn't a costume. Also,
I would talk in length. I would talk in length about the boxers worn by Woody Harrelson. But Carnage, all I have to say is mid.
Very fair, yeah. We can't really complain about costumes because we did do Bruce Willis in Glass at the start of this. Let's see. Ooh, okay, pretty good one actually, or like big one. The Illuminati, so Captain Carter, Black Bolt, Mr. Fantastic, all that stuff from
I will say,
Doctor Strange.
The Mr. Fantastic, like, whilst obviously funny that Krasinski shows up and turned into a nice tagliatelle, but his costume seemed out of place, in my opinion. Like, it did not fit the vibe of the Illuminati.
Did a little bit. We should have gotten Gruffafud back, is what you're saying.
Honestly, if Gruffafoot showed up, I would have lost.
I would have loved that. That would have been fucking awesome. Missed opportunity.
You of all people, you're one of the biggest Krasinski fans, but don't even lie to me.
But come on,
a Gruff would have been much better.
A Gruff cameo, and especially if he was the last one that they built up to, and the smartest man in the universe.
The smartest man in the world.
Also, in those movies,
Gruffafoot.
He definitely was not the smartest man in the world. He was this fumbling dumbass. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I liked it, but it was also a little bit weird. It kind of fit that world weirdly, but it was sort of, I don't know. Captain Carter, I think, looked really good. And what were the other ones? Captain Marvel, I guess, was just the same costume. And Black Bolt was really good. Black Bolt was pretty comic
Black Bolt, I thought, was quite good. Professor X, same thing. What about the... It's not Khonshu. It's... what's the Doctor Strange's frenemy called?
Mordo.
Khonshu Mordo. Potato.
Kind of big W haircut as opposed to last time.
I do like the haircut. The haircut's big W. The costume, kind of mid.
America Chavez, by the way, not crazy about the star on your jacket. That star killed your parents.
Very stanky.
Why do you wear that star on your jacket? I'm just saying. And finally, actually, final two, the New Mutants, who don't really have costumes, except if you count a giant bear as a costume.
Which I do, and it's stanky.
And finally, and this one is not new at all, and we may have talked about it in the first one, but I feel like I don't remember talking about it, so fuck it, we're just gonna do it here real quick. Dane DeHaan's Green Goblin, the one from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where he looks like he has, like, violent herpes.
Where he's got full body herpes.
Big stank on that one.
It looks so bad. It is genuinely, like, it looks like he got like hit by a shrapnel grenade or something, and then just
I mean, like, he looks
got herpes at the same time.
He looks disgusting, which I guess like a villain is supposed to, but I don't know. It's still just not. Just looks weird and bad.
It's a big mid/stank from me.
Yeah. Anyway, that was superhero movie best and worst costumes. Part 2, 4 years in the making.
Part 2.
We'll be back in 2026, I guess, to do another one of these. Hope you enjoyed. Now, it's time for...
the Cnews.
Alright, we're gonna... Because this is pre-recorded... Actually, you know what? This is the perfect time for this Cnews that I've had sitting here for a while that it isn't really time sensitive, so I'll just throw it in here because it is also fucking amazing. The tweet from Discussing Film is so great. I'll send you a picture of it because the photo they used of Tom Cruise is so scary and it fits this headline so well. Wait, let me get my phone real quick.
Send that to me.
I'll send it over.
Let's see here. Oh my god. Okay.
The tweet from Discussing Film says, source vulture.com. It says, Tom Cruise goes out in disguise to see every movie that releases in theaters. Is that not?
That is
a horrifying
I'm just staring,
idea.
It is a horrifying idea. Imagine you're sitting next to some guy and you're making like a bit of noise, just like, not that I would, but like the typical teenagers going in like movie cinema, typical rowdy teenagers in the cinema, and then they're sitting there playing with their phone a little bit, and then they turn and there's a guy in a baseball cap and fake mustache and sunglasses, looks over, whips him off, and just goes, "I'm gonna eat your wife."
Goes, "Put your manners back in." Wouldn't like
your manners back in.
Also, yeah, keeping in mind this picture that they used where he's like his face is half in shadow and he's like imagine just looking over and seeing that and you're like just an ominous presence falls over you. Yeah, he could be. Every time you see a movie, just think Tom Cruise could be in there. Also, this is so There's so many questions I have from this. He wears a disguise to see... Also, every movie that releases in theaters, I doubt he sees every fucking... Did he see Dog? Do you think he saw Dog?
Almost. I mean, when you think about it, there's not... Like, obviously there's a lot, but, like... It's doable.
I guess, but also Tom Cruise is, like, the busiest fucking
guy
in Hollywood.
He is the busiest man.
I barely have time to go to the movies, and I'm not Tom Cruise.
And I don't have to wear a disguise.
No, I also go in disguise just for my own pleasure. But it's
You're sitting there. No one knows who I am, and even if I didn't wear a disguise, they wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's very fulfilling, honestly. Yeah, no, just a violently terrifying thought. Yeah, new anxiety unlocked. You could be sitting next to Tom Cruise whenever you go to the cinema.
New fear yet fantasy unlocked.
Yeah. God. Also, what disguise do you think he would wear? I guess just like a baseball cap and like glasses maybe or something.
Maybe do you think he like goes all out and just like completely changes freaking species? Just rocks up as a dog.
He disguises himself as like a cinema chair.
He gets nervous whenever he sees a large man walk in.
But also kind of excited. That's the thrill of it. Anyway, good for you, Cruise, I guess. Wildly terrifying. We could read this article, but also why would we? We have this tweet. Good podcasting. Now, it is time for the announcements and such, which either, if we have time or opportunity to record this week, we'll cut to right now. But more realistically, if we didn't have time to record a pod, we probably won't be able to record anything at all. And with that in mind, we will get to the announcements and such as soon as we do the next full up-to-date pod. But,
oh yeah,
with that in mind, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell button, comment your thoughts, comment what your favorite superhero movie costumes from the past little while are, and what you think are mid and W and stanky, and what you thought of this episode overall. If you're listening on YouTube, we're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can check us out there, leave a 5-star rating, hit the follow button, leave a nice review. Tell your friends about the pod. Tell your family. Tell Tom Cruise. Don't tell Tom Cruise. Tell your dog. Not that those are equivalent in any way, but, anyway.
But be aware that Tom Cruise may be disguised as your dog. So
it's a very real possibility. Stay woke. Also, you can find me on YouTube, BHL.
Start on a cringe note, end on a cringe note.
It's my motto. You can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson, Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson. You can email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com. I'm also on Letterboxd at RealBHLHudson and TikTok at BHLHudson. You can also find the fan-made TikTok and the fan pages linked down below.
Whew. God, Eminem. You can also find me on Twitter at FTK_AdultSniper. You can find me on Instagram at Fidalgo. You can find me on Letterboxd at FTK_Thwilms. And you can find me on YouTube at FTK Space Gaming.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Hawkeye.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff.